What's going on, everybody? It's Hazy, coming in with yet another crazy ass story time. I hope you guys enjoyed the first one. Leave a like if you did. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and jump straight into it. So, this story time takes place around the beginning of 2020 on the night of my 15th birthday. Most of the day, I was only really with close family, like my mom, my dad, a few of my uncles and aunts, a few of my younger cousins. And they all just came over to visit and say happy birthday. It was honestly a pretty mid birthday, I'm not gonna lie. But it got to be around 6 o'clock, and everybody started leaving, saying their goodbyes. So after they all packed up and left, I went back upstairs to my room, chilled for a minute. Got to be around 7 o'clock that night, and I decided to invite a few of the homies over to chill and be with me on my birthday. So about 4 of my homies come over. We chill and start playing some video games. They all go downstairs and get a slice of cake. About an hour just chilling, playing some Skate 3. We were all pretty bored, so one of my best friends at the time, we're not as close anymore, that's gonna be for a different story time. But he turns to me and everyone else and asks if anybody's down to drink. And we're just gonna call this friend John. And John was a little older than me and more experienced in things like that. Now, up until this point, I had never done anything whatsoever. Drinking, smoking, or anything else in between had just never really crossed my mind, and I just never really thought about it. But in my mind, I was thinking, I mean, shit, it is my 15th birthday. I'm with the homies, it's on a weekend, a little later in the day. The vibes are just flowing. So I turned to John and I say, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And everyone in the room turned to me, looking all confused because they all knew I had never done anything. I was kind of a pussy back then, not gonna lie. And I guess they were all just surprised that I said yeah with no real hesitation. So everybody gets all hyped immediately. And they all start saying some shit like, oh shit, his balls finally dropped, saying this and that, just kind of fucking around with me. So I turned to John and I asked him, where we're gonna get alcohol at, because at the time, none of us were over 21. And he tells me about this one gas station across town that never IDs, doesn't really care. So I'm like, alright, bet, let's go. So we all walk downstairs and everyone puts on their jackets. Now, mind you, my birthday is in January. And in Kentucky, January is the coldest month, no doubt about it. So we all walk out the door, run to John's car. We all hop in, start that shit up immediately, cranking the heat up as high as it will go. So we all take off and get to this gas station around 9 o'clock. John pulls in and parks the car, and he's the only one man enough to walk in there to buy this alcohol. Everyone starts telling him what they want to drink, handing him money. So then he turns to me and asks what I want, and I had absolutely no clue, so I just tell him to surprise me, and he's like, bet. Now, while John's in that, we're all cracking up, making jokes, thinking that they're not actually going to sell it to him because John was only 2 years older than me at the time. He was only 18. So we're all chilling in the car, he cranked up, talking, waiting to see if this was actually going to be foolproof. And lo and behold, 5 minutes later, John walks out carrying two big ass black bags stocked full of bottles. He hops in the car, showing off everything. We're all hyped. So we start headed back to my house. We get to the driveway, hop out, run in. We have to slowly walk up the stairs so you can't hear the bottles clinking around. Can't have my mom know I'm trying to do some devious shit. We all get to my room, shut the door, and everyone immediately shit out of the bags. They're all cracking their drinks open, so I asked John what he got me. And he has this big ass grin on his face. He pulls out these two big ass cans, puts one in each of my hands, and I look at him. And this motherfucker, he got me two huge ass fucking Four Locos. Yeah, you heard that right. I had never drank anything in my entire life, and John decides to get me fucking Four Locos. And at this time, I didn't know shit about alcohol. I didn't know any of the brands, the percentages, what's lower and what's higher. I was completely oblivious to everything. So I crack one open and everyone's looking at me laughing while I take the first drink of this thing. And let me tell you, this thing was absolutely fucking disgusting. You could have not recreated the face I made when I swallowed that cat shit. Everyone's dying laughing while I struggle to get this thing down. So I turn to John and I say, what the fuck is this shit? It tastes like straight cat piss. And he's like, bro, it's just because you're not used to alcohol. The more you drink it, you'll get used to the taste. So of course my dumbass believes him, and he tells me to hold my nose and down as much of this can as I possibly can. So that's exactly what I did. I pinch my nose and start going at it as fast as I can. And I end up getting about half of the can down, and at this point, I just want to puke. Like, I felt like I could just straight projectile vomit everywhere. So I sit the can down and start taking deep breaths, just trying to keep this shit down. About 10 minutes goes by, I'm not as nauseous, and I notice I start feeling a little funky, a little different. I can feel my body getting warmer. I start getting a little giggly. So everyone notices that, and they're all cracking up, going, "Oh shit, Jacob's getting fucked up." So my ass tries to stand up to go to the bathroom because I had to piss like a motherfucker. And let me tell you, the moment I stood up, this shit hit me like a truck. I had no balance in my body whatsoever. I'm finally able to make it to the bathroom to take a piss, and I'm having to put both of my hands on the back wall just so I wouldn't fall over. I finally get finished pissing, trying to hold my balance, and I'm able to stumble my way back into my room. And I must have been gone for a minute because when I got back, these motherfuckers had a stack of Little Caesars pizzas gobbling these bitches up. And I'm just standing there so stunned, wondering where the fuck they got these pizzas so quick. So I asked them how they got these pizzas so fucking fast. And apparently, while I was laying on the bed trying to calm down and not puke, they called Little Caesars and had them deliver these pizzas to my house. Listen, guys, I give mad props to whoever delivered them pizzas because he must have been fucking whipping it down the road. I mean, drifting through red lights to get these pizzas here so quick. Anyway, I'm not even worried about that, and I dive straight into that shit because I'm pretty fucking hungry. And we all know alcohol and pizza go hand in hand. They're like fucking Batman and Robin. If you have one, you gotta have the other. That's in my mind, at least. I don't know. So I'm munching down on this pizza, and John looks at me and hands me my half full can of Four Loco. And everyone starts chanting for me to chug the rest of it. So that's exactly what my drunk ass does. I hold my nose, throw my head back, and down the rest of this can. As soon as I finish it, I crush the can up and throw it across the room like I'm the fucking man. Like I am that guy. You'll come to find out in just a second that I'm most definitely not that guy. I sit down and finish off three or more slices of pizza. About 5 minutes goes by, and I notice the whole room just starts spinning like no other. I'm completely shit faced at this point. Standing up and speaking a clear, coherent sentence was just out the fucking window. I lay down on my bed and put a pillow on my face for whatever reason, just trying to chill out. And what do you know? That shit doesn't last very long because I immediately spring out of bed, got on my hands and knees, and just projectile vomit all over the rug in the middle of my room, and I passed the fuck out. Face first in a puddle of my own puke until 5:30 in the morning. When I wake up, I had no clue where the hell I was at. It took me at least 3 or 4 minutes to fully realize what had happened, so I get up and start looking around the room, and everyone had left already except John, who was sleeping ever so comfortably in my bed. And I just remember thinking, these fucking assholes left me passed out in the middle of my room in a puddle of my own puke the whole fucking night. Didn't even give it a second thought to wake me up and check on me. I could have been dead for all they know. So I get up and I wake John's ass up and I tell him to scoot the fuck over, and I crawl in bed and immediately fall right back asleep. Fast forward to about 11 a.m., I wake up to my mom standing over top of me asking why the hell there's a huge puddle of vomit in the middle of my room. And all I could think to say in this moment, listen, guys, I shit you not, this was exactly what I said. I say, "Oh, I ate pizza last night and it made me feel real sick and I threw up." She said, "Oh, yeah?" And I was like, "Yeah, mom." She said, "Are you sure it wasn't all those?" And she points to all the empty alcohol cans that were sitting on my desk. These motherfuckers left all the alcohol cans sitting in my room. So I look up at her, dead silent, because there's just nothing I could possibly say to wiggle myself out of this situation. And she looks at me and says, "You better be glad it's your birthday. Go back to sleep, and when you wake up, I want all this shit cleaned up." And she just walks out of my room. And I'm like, there's no way that just happened. I was half expecting her to start screaming and grounding me for like the rest of my life. Because up until this point, she had never caught me doing anything. Because, like I said, I had never done anything. And the whole time my mom was in my room, John was awake pretending to be asleep. So he could just hear everything that was going down. So when she leaves and walks downstairs, he sits up in disbelief that my mom didn't just try and murk my ass on the spot. He gets up and dips ASAP because he's deathly afraid of my mom. A lot of people are deathly afraid of my mom actually. She can be a very scary lady when she needs to be. So he dips and I fall back asleep. I do not wake up till around 3 in the afternoon and I am hung over as fuck. This was the sickest I had ever felt in my entire life. All because of one single Four Loco. Didn't even touch the second one. So, the lesson from this video is get good friends that will try to look out for you and never ever touch a fucking Four Loco. Four Locos belong in the deepest, darkest pits of hell. If you ever try to drink Four Locos willingly, you have some serious psychological issues. Seriously, fuck those things. I would rather drink 20 Guinness beers than one Four Loco. Well, maybe not 20, but you get what I'm trying to say. So, anyways, that's the end of this story time. Don't make the same dumbass decisions I did and drink responsibly or don't. It's all up to you. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and if you didn't, leave a like anyway because it's always a nice thing to do. And don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button on your way out. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video and have a kick ass day. Peace.